Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Another Fat Guy Cooks. I'm your fat guy Andy Baker, and today we're going to be doing barbecue ribs. We're going to be doing them in the oven, so everyone can do them. Don't need a barbecue, don't need a smoker. Still going to be really good. Let's get on with it.
Another lost day, another lost year, another chopped onion to cover up the tears, another dream dead, another loss on the books, another fat guy cooks.
Okay, so we're going to need three things to do our ribs. We're going to need our sauce, which we're going to do a nice sweet barbecue sauce. We're going to need our rub for the ribs, and we're going to need our ribs, obviously. Otherwise we're just going to be eating sauce and powder, which I've done on a few nights. Sauce first. Big onion. Once you've diced up your onion, you throw it in the blender. And we're going to throw a little bit of water in the blender just to help the onion blend up nicely. In theory, this should be a nice simple recipe that any of you can do at home, no hassle. Prep time takes about 5 minutes, cooking time's like 4 hours, but you just bang it in and let it go. Nice and easy. And you know, I'm not going to pretend like this makes ribs that are as good as ones that you get off the barbecue or ones that you get off the grill or whatever, but it's about as good as you're going to get without having to fire up the smoker. You've been told. We'll turn this on. Okay, that'll do. We're going to get our pan, throw in a little bit of olive oil. Okay, so we're going to heat our olive oil up till it just starts shimmering, till it starts getting nice and hot, not quite to the point where it's smoking. And then once it's at that point, we're going to throw up our smashed up onion, so looks like this. And then we're going to cook that until it gets to sort of translucenty, just before it starts to brown. Okay, while that's happening, we're going to start getting our rub together. So you're going to need a bowl. Okay, so you've got a bowl. So when you're making a rub for ribs, you want to be... Okay, so the good thing about doing the barbecue sauce and the rub is there are two things that you can just dick around with to your heart's content. As long as you kind of get the base recipe vaguely close, then you can play around with the flavors as much as you want. Now, your barbecue sauce is tomato ketchup and brown sugar. That's it. You can add what else you want to it to add your own little flair to it. I've got a few things I'm going to add. You do what you want. Your rub is basically salt and brown sugar. I usually do about 1 to 2, so one lot of salt, 2 lot of brown sugar, and then throw in a few other things as well, just to give it a little pep up. So as long as you're sticking roughly to those kind of ratios, then it's going to come out okay. I mean, it might not be great, but it'll come out okay. So just turn that down. Okay, so we're going to do about a 1/4 cup of salt. About that much. And we're going to do about 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And then at this point, throw in whatever you want. So we're going to do some smoked paprika, a little bit of that, a little bit of cumin, finish off the chili powder, a little bit of turmeric as well, just to lighten things up a bit. Now, there's loads of other things that you could add to this. Mustard powder, if I had some. I mean, honestly, anything you want. You can throw whatever the hell you want in here. That's basically all I'm going to do for now. And then I'm just going to whisk this all together until it's fully incorporated and no big lumps remain. Don't forget to put your tits into it. Full on titty workout. And you should also be able to taste your rub, and it should actually taste good before it goes onto your ribs, which this does. Tastes amazing. Right, I'll put that to one side. So, as you can see, onions are getting nice and stewy, which is what you want. So we're going to throw in 1 small tub of tomato ketchup. And then we're just going to heat this up while our barbecue sauce, or our tomato ketchup and onion, as it is right now, starts to heat up. We're just going to sort our ribs out. Okay, so one thing always to remember on your ribs, to get a really good pull apart, really good consistency when you're done, is to take the membrane off of the back. So you should be able to see this. So if you get your knife, you should be able to work it under the membrane like so. Get your finger under and then start removing your membrane. This can be a little bit tricky, but once you get a good angle on it, it should start coming off. Nice and easy. Lovely. Okay. Okay. We now have our beautiful de-membraned ribs, looking good. Let's keep stirring our onion and tomato sauce till that starts coming up to the simmer, and then we'll turn it down. This is quite an easy one today. I don't feel as stressed as I usually do. Right, so we're going to put our rub on. What I like to do with the rub is I like to just put it through a strainer onto the ribs, just to get rid of any big chunks. And then we're just going to give our ribs a good covering on one side. And believe it or not, it's called a rub because you've got to get your fingers in and rub the fucker in. So, we're just going to get on there with our hands and we're going to work this into our meat. Okay, and once you've done one side, you want to flip those bitches over and finish them off on the other side. Now, before all this started, I probably should have told you this earlier, I preheated the oven to about, what are you on? About 140, 150, something like that. So we're going to wrap our ribs in foil, and then once we've foiled our ribs up, we're going to throw them in the oven for about 3 to 4 hours, something like that. Before we do that, you should be able to see now that our sauce is bubbling, which is what we want. So now what we're going to do is throw in about, where did I put my cup? Measuring cup. We're going to throw in about 1/4 cup of brown sugar, maybe a little bit more, and you should instantly see the colour start to change. Okay, we're also going to throw in here, we've got some sun-dried tomato paste. I'm going to throw some of that in. Just going to give it a much richer tomatoey flavour. Yep. We're going to throw in some garlic paste, nice big whack of garlic paste. I'm trying to keep things really simple today. I really can't be fucked to dick around chopping everything up. And we're also going to throw in just some mild hot sauce, nothing too crazy. I've just got some Chipotle Cholula, which is a slightly hotter version than you're probably used to, but it's still not like crazy hot at all. And we're just going to throw in a good liberal splash and a bit of hot sauce. Liquid smoke. You can get it from pretty much anywhere these days, Tesco, Sainsbury's, whatever. This is basically when you're smoking meat or you're smoking wood, stuff like, you're burning wood, getting all the smoke and shit out, all this residue of the smoke, they basically run that through water. I think they put it in like alcohol or something, I'm not sure, but they get the sort of the flavour and whatever of the smoke, distill it, condense it. You can throw it in things like chilies, sauces, whatever, and you get a really good smoky flavour, almost as if you've been outside on the barbecue, which we haven't. You know the Texas t-shirt, by the way? Just to piss everybody off, because this is not how fucking Americans do ribs. I'm just going to do a big, good splash. And then we're going to mix this up and let that simmer for about 10-15, motherfucker. Okay, so we're going to individually wrap up our ribs, because we don't want them steaming together, because it will make, I don't fucking know, we're just going to individually do them. It'll be a better reveal at the end. As you can see, we have our ribs nice and wrapped. They're going to go in the oven for about 3.5 hours. That's that bit done. And then we're going to let our barbecue sauce, in fact, let's just taste that first and see where we are. Ooh, hot. That's really fucking good. It just needs a little bit more salt. And we're also going to throw in 1 big teaspoon of Gochujang, which is a fermented Korean bean paste, which has got quite a bit of heat to it, and it'll also add quite a lot of depth to our sauce as well, and make it like a sort of fancy fusion sauce. Yeah, why not? And look at the consistency of this stuff. It's amazing. Let's go 2 teaspoons of that in. On this stuff I can just eat out of there. It's just such a complex flavour, a really smoky, chili, hot. Oh, fucking amazing. Gochujang, use it in everything. Okay. And the other thing was black pepper. I need some black pepper, but I can't find the fucking stuff anywhere. So, you know what? So to figure out what I was going to cook today, because I couldn't come up with any decent ideas, I stuck it on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, @HackOddity. And asked people for some suggestions. Got loads of really good suggestions. The ribs suggestion that I went for was from Mandy, who is @Mandy Soko. Mandy SOKO. I'll put it down here. So thanks for the suggestion, Mandy. Oh, one other thing that we're just gonna, I completely forgot about. We're just gonna add to our barbecue sauce, just to give it a little bit of bite. Now, I was gonna add some apple cider vinegar, but all I've got is white wine vinegar. But it will do the job. Just a little splash, just to give it a little vinegary bite in the background. You can go now. I'll be back in like 3.5 hours. Okay, so we are back about 3 hours later. So let's crack out our ribs, have a look, see where we're up to, and then we'll start grilling and basting and finishing stuff off. That's about it. Yeah. And now we are going to baste them with our barbecue sauce. Let's just plonk this on, and then let's throw him under the grill. And then we're going to let that go for about 5 minutes, come back, take it out, recoat it, put it back in again, and we'll see how we are. Be back in 5. Boom. Oh yeah. Looks good. Let's take one of these in half. Plate him up. Right. Okay, so we have barbecue ribs done in an oven, nice and easy. Let's taste them. As you can see, they're just falling apart. They are so fucking good. Oh my god. Perfect. Right. I want to go because I'm going to eat these because I've been waiting for them for fucking ages. Another Fat Guy's just cooked. Barbecue ribs in the oven. Dead easy. You can do it at home. You've got no fucking reason not to. Do it. Send me some photos. Show me how you did. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. If you feel like throwing me a bit of cash so I can buy fancier shit, details are down below. Love you. Take care.